Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time. This is game 2 this evening, and the adventure that I've entitled Stink, Stank, Stunk. But before we dive into that, I want to take a quick minute to introduce our 4 lovely players and their characters who will be joining us this evening. First, I just want to say, Hershel P. Werthersford. Hershel, welcome back to the lands of D&D Time. How have you been?
I am well. How are you?
You know, Hershel, I'm doing pretty well myself. What have you been up to since we last saw you? I know it's been a while.
Doing what I always do. I have been making candy.
And have the candy sales been well around this time of year? Because I know this can be like a booming year for candy sales, but it hasn't really been as of late.
I think you mean have the candy sales been good, and they have.
Oh, okay. So, because I was under the impression that maybe the sales haven't been that good this year for some reason or another. But no, they're doing fine.
No. Well, you see, we have a lot of niche markets that we appeal to.
Hershel, I'm going to put you on this. Name three niche markets.
Lizard folk of the non-Candy Kingdom variety.
That's a weird candy. I'd like to ask more questions about that. Okay, 1.
Grung.
All right, 2.
Anteaters.
Really? Now, and actually I had this question about the grung too. Are the anteaters and the grung the candy, or are you selling candy to these markets?
We are selling candy to those markets. Now, when I say anteaters, I mean anthropomorphic anteater folk, if you will.
That's a very interesting folk. Don't think I've ever met any anteater folk.
They're not common around here.
But they must be high spenders when it comes to candy.
Oh, they do love their chocolate-covered ants.
Wow. The more you know. Everyone, we've all just learned a valuable lesson today about anteater folk and diversity. So thank you, Hershel, for the lesson, and welcome back. I'm sure this is going to be a great adventure for you this evening with all of the experience you have with such diverse peoples.
I'm sure it will.
Our next adventurer this evening is, of course, the prolific Sikia Invastra. Welcome, Sikia. How are you?
What? Where? I am suddenly here. Okay, what's happening?
Yeah, sorry about that. You've been kidnapped and press ganged into service with Bartholomew's adventure. Oh, I'm sorry. This is your 3rd adventure. It's Bartholomew.
Oh, I didn't know that was on a teleportation paging system. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bartholomew will just pluck you out of literally any timeline or place for any reason. I'd assure you it's a good reason, but I can't.
Oh. Well, at least it wasn't tomorrow. This works out just.
What's tomorrow, Sikia? If you don't mind my asking, I'm sorry.
A birthday?
Well, I'm happy for that. With a lot of birthdays today. Today was Jade's birthday, and now it's your birthday. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not quite your birthday. Is it your birthday, or is it a friend's birthday? Or is it some strange abstract concept of a birthday?
It is on a meta level, it is not mine, it is my character's, but yes, it's Sikia's birthday tomorrow.
That's very exciting. Well, you know what, Sikia, I think this is going to be a nice softball adventure that hopefully will not ruin your tomorrow birthday.
You know what? I'm all for it.
All right. Well, Sikia, welcome. I'm sure you're going to have a great one this evening, and I'm glad you're playing with us. Our next hero is Waiyubi. How would you describe yourself? An incarnate god? I mean, is that the right way to put it?
I am the lesser god of suffering and endurance.
You know, Waiyubi, I've never realized that it was suffering and endurance that you represented. It kind of makes sense. But is there a reason that like suffering and endurance are so core to you, or were you made manifest as this physical incarnation of a concept?
I was brought forth by a tribe of Kobolds who were in the midst of a deadly famine. They hoped I would give them the strength of body to endure. Yet still, they are but silt in the sea.
I take it didn't go great for them.
I have seen few things go great.
Waiyubi, that's a very down-to-earth mentality. I will say, Waiyubi, given that you were brought into existence by Kuo-toa, you look pretty good for a Kuo-toa lesser deity. Like, most lesser deities have like weird appendages sticking out, or maybe they got 3 heads, or they're half like fish. You seem pretty put together, all things considered.
Waiyubi will remove his cloak, and you see a twisted, fucked up fish monster like from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe we keep the cloak on. Waiyubi, welcome back. I'm going to send you on this adventure really quick so I don't have to think about that site again. Thank you, of course, for playing with us this evening. And last, but certainly not least, we have Walnut. Welcome back, Walnut. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great.
So, Walnut, it's also been a while since your last adventure. What have you been doing? I mean, I know you have a huge family that you have to deal with and all sorts of things. Being a Mousefolk, what are the day-to-day trials and tribulations of Mousefolk people in lands of DnDTime?
Well, I tried to go into Central City to find myself some food, but then there's too many cats around, and I don't like cats.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you're lucky you were not in the first adventure this evening.
Yeah, I do not like cats. They are very, very hungry when they see me. But I did find this thing called cheese, and it's so delicious. Oh my God.
Wait, you've just discovered cheese, Walnut?
We did not have cheese back in the forest. There was no cow.
You should talk to Hershel. I feel like Hershel could really set you up with some good stuff.
Oh yes, I would love to have this. I tried like the big yellow cheese and the red cheese and the white cheese, and they're all very, 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 very good.
Huh. Now, where did you go to get this cheese?
I'm not sure. I think I might have just picked it up somewhere from one of the bins in Central City.
Oh, it's great that people just put out all of their spare food in those bins for other people to come by and get. I will say.
Yeah, it's nice.
Very revolutionary. Well, Walnut, I'm glad you've discovered cheese. That seems to be an exciting, a revolution almost, in terms of like, you're not just eating nuts and things in the forest, which I assume is what you ate before. I apologize if I'm wrong. You can now you're eating more.
Yes, I'm going to buy a wagon and then fill it up with cheese and take it home.
That's amazing. You're not lactose intolerant, are you?
Nope.
Oh, great. Excellent. And so with that, welcome, Walnut. And of course, I wish you an excellent adventure this evening. And so we begin. The 4 of you have been sent to a small village. It's far to the west, and there's not a lot out here, right? If you go any further, you start to hit the frontier, which is a kind of desert, wasteland area. But you're in a temperate, somewhat forest to the north of the Wilderwood, the big ancient primordial forest in the southwest. And you've been sent here to meet a character, a kobold, in fact, by the name of Blurp. And that's kind of where we come in. You all have headed out here, and you found this small village. There are many little huts that have been constructed of twigs, of leaves, of things like that, for what is apparently this above ground kobold tribe. And as you all kind of approach and walk into the town, just taking a good idea of what everything looks like here. One of the little kobolds scampers up to you.
Hello. You're the adventurers that Blurp got, right?
That we are.
Excellent. Good.
He kind of hops around excitedly.
We need your help. It's Blurp. Blurp is on the brink of something incredible. Please follow me.
Okay.
Yeah, and he kind of scampers off, and you follow him over toward the edge of the forest. And as you're getting closer, you can see where a few of these little huts they've built have like collapsed, it looks like, or broken down or something. It's sort of hard to tell, but they were in disarray, and there's less out here. And as you kind of reach the edge of the forest, you see a somewhat, they're not a tall kobold, but they appear to be tall because their back isn't quite as hunched as they're walking. And yeah, they're just kind of walking back and forth. They have a big, almost white cloak on, and he's scratching his chin and looking at some posts that he's nailed into the ground. They stand about 3.5, 4 feet tall, and there are these weird wooden platforms on the top that could maybe fit a medium creature, right? A person could stand on, but it's just weird. There's like a dozen of them nailed into the ground just around by the edge of the forest. And as he turns up, he looks up at you and says,
Greetings. You're the adventurers that I ordered. Splendid. All right, Blurp, this is your day. All right, I'm Blurp. It's a pleasure to meet you.
kind of stands up to you, walks up to you first, Hershel, and holds out his hand. It's a scaly brown kobold hand. Okay. He heads over to you, Sikia.
She will take his hand, shake it, and head pat him while she's not like disinterested, but she's also reading the signs.
Okay. Goes over to Waiyubi.
Oh, you're cool looking.
That is appreciated.
He kind of holds out his hand to shake your hand.
Waiyubi will extend one of his spiky, clammy, damp hands.
He's like, man, your hand looks really wet. Can't really tell because of the scales, but that's funny.
And then he looks over to you, Walnut. And Walnut, you're tiny, aren't you? You're like very small.
I am very small. I'm only like 2 foot something, like 2 foot 2.
Yeah, he's gonna hold out, like, he's even bigger than you, right? Like,
yeah.
He's got like a foot on you. He's gonna, and he holds out a hand to shake. He holds like a couple of fingers to shake your hand.
Well, anyway, everyone, I am Blurp, and I'm going to be the greatest inventor in known history for the kobolds. I'm very, very excited. I'm on the brink of something that's going to change the way that we live out here, you know?
And what would that be?
And he kind of gestures at the little wooden platforms that he set up.
Am constructing bear repellent.
Is this what's written on the signs, or what's written on the signs? I'm very intrigued.
Oh, you're talking about the little posts that have been put up?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, do you speak Kobold? Do you read Draconic?
I know Draconic, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a warning under construction, bear repulsion barrier.
Now, when you say repellent, what is it exactly that you mean?
I'm sure you all saw some of the buildings that have been broken down here throughout the town. We're a little bit north of the Will-to-Woad, but some of those big bears from down there kind of make their way up here sometimes. And, you know, a regular bear, I mean, that's also scary, but some of those like really big bears also make their way up here. Not like gigantic bears, but like they're still pretty big.
And so you're going to be making a physical barrier.
Well, sort of. You see, he kind of looks off into the distance. Kobolds are known for our resourcefulness, our ability to take otherwise mundane things and create something new and extraordinary beyond its normal task. Of course, my great mentor, Spurt the Resourceful, was the one who invented the scorpion on the end of a stick, far more effective than your normal spear. Well,
Is it truly far more effective than your normal spear?
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I've never seen another. Like after the invention of the scorpion on a stick, no one used regular spears anymore.
All right.
Either way.
Please continue.
Well, I've decided I need to create my bear repulsion barrier. And my plan, and I think I've got it figured out, I've set up the little platforms, and he kind of points at the little posts. And I'm going to mount on top of those a cage with a skunk on it, in it. Bears are naturally repulsed by skunks. And so if we can surround ourselves with skunks...
I'd like to roll a nature check.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, I don't know. I don't know.
6? Maybe. Like, that doesn't probably check out in your... I think that doesn't check out, right? It's like, maybe, like, skunks are bad because they smell bad. But wouldn't a bear eat a skunk is probably, like, what Hershel thinks. Sorry.
If he wants to have skunks around, well, why don't you tie a beehive to the skunk and have the skunk run away so that the bear follows the hive?
No, but you see, then what if another bear shows up? We just need the one group of skunks.
Well, what if the skunks turn their spray on you?
I'll be honest, we don't smell particularly well on account of the little, you know, kind of like points to
but
his
that's
snout.
not the issue. If the skunk is pointing towards you, then it won't fart on the bear, you know? You need to get the smell on the bear, not on you.
Yeah, no, I mean, my thought process is we're gonna just see, right? So, I'll show you the prototype cage. And he kind of walks over a couple steps away, which is a bunch of like pieces of wood, and some of them have been like tied together with like string, and one of them kind of looks like it's like half a cage, right? There's no bottom to it, and it's missing a lot of the rungs. And he goes, all right, so here's my prototype cage, except imagine where there aren't any rungs, we're gonna just put solid wood. So the bars are only facing toward the forest. That way he can't stink backwards.
I see. Why don't you just buy some bear spray?
You know, it's not particularly easy, to be honest, to get that kind of stuff around here, and even more than that, right? That involves someone having to be like awake and on watch. The skunks, we can just stick them out in their cages at night, and you know, in the day we'll put them out on, I don't know, a little skunk ranch or something. I haven't thought that far through.
How many cages are you going to be setting up, and what is the distance between them?
I was thinking maybe about a dozen, on like a 10 or 15 foot kind of, you know, break between them.
Could the bear not simply slip between your defense system?
Have you ever been sprayed by a skunk?
Yes.
Yes.
They got some range, buddy.
Yeah, but a hungry bear cares more about the food than the skunk.
If you do not mind the smell of these skunks and are willing to use them as repellent, why not simply make a chamber filled with skunks and spray yourselves to repel bears of your own accord.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, it hurts if it gets in your eyes. You just want to, if you get caught in a thing, it's not the end of the world, is what I'm getting at. I'm just saying, getting caught in one skunk spray, not as bad as getting attacked by bears. And we've been attacked by bears quite a lot in the last, week.
I'll be
Like
straightforward.
3 separate bear attacks.
Sikia pulls out a pair of goggles and presents it to the kobold.
What are these? These are
They,
tiny cups. How am I gonna? This is not even enough water for a sip.
Cups? These aren't cups, they're protective eyewear. You put them on over and nothing gets in your eyes.
Kind of like picks them up. Oh, I see. Kind of goes to put him on his head. They don't seem like a very tight fit on account of the scales.
Sikia, having dealt with kobolds once before, pulls out a kobold-sized one as well.
He goes, oh wow, that's great, thank you. This will help to, keep skunk spray out of my eyes. I'll take it. I still am gonna need you to get me skunks though.
Okay, that can be done.
Oh yeah, that's why I got you. I need someone to capture the skunks in the first place.
You want to... All right. I mean, I'm not going to argue with payday, despite the merit of the idea.
Look, I'm just saying, kobold, invention of this nature, it's part of our culture. I am an esteemed inventor, or at least I will be after this.
That is unfortunate.
Why is it unfortunate?
Quite unfortunate that I'm not yet, is what you're getting at? That's what you mean?
Sure. That's what I'm getting.
Incredibly unfortunate. You're right. Okay, well, good luck. Go get me some skunks. I need like a dozen.
You need a dozen skunks.
I mean, a dozen is not too bad. You can just stack them on top of each other.
You can stack skunks?
You can stack anything if you try hard enough.
He's correct.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I might change my design a little bit with that in mind.
Yeah, you could get like a tower of skunks or get like a line of skunks and have it like, like one of those big pipe organs things. You can just set them up like that.
I get you there. I was also considering an arm-mounted skunk cannon where you tie him to your arm, but...
Oh, yeah, but you probably want to keep like a little pouch or something to feed it with, because otherwise they get hungry and then they bite you.
Yeah, early prototypes did not go well. They did not go well. Anyway, yeah, all right. Have fun. Go get me skunks. I don't know. They should be out in the forest or something. I don't know. I don't know how to get skunks.
Wait, you planned this without knowing how to get skunk?
Yep, that was the only part I haven't completely figured out.
Yeah, that's what we're for.
An invention?
Exactly.
Fine.
Choose a forest.
What happens when your skunks inevitably expire and you need new skunks?
Once we have the skunks, we only keep them in the cages during the night when the bears show up. During the day, we're gonna put them. I don't know. We'll put them in a pen and farm them or something. I don't know.
No, so you are familiar with skunk rearing techniques, but not skunk catching techniques.
I'm an inventor, not a shepherd. That's the word.
He'll leave that to the farmers, I believe.
Yeah, that's someone else's job. I'm the brains of the operation here. Thank you very much.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay,
All right,
let's go.
thank you. I have more prototyping to do.
And he kind of starts going over, and you see him start trying to put together more of that prototype cage that he had been working on. Yeah, what do you all want to do?
I guess we start going out.
What are the chances that these skunks are like the size of bears?
Oh, that would be very interesting, honestly.
I would say non-zero.
We are in the Wilderwood, so I believe we're going to be fighting dire skunks if we're fighting anything.
Well, you are
that-
probably correct.
What if I could ride one of those dire skunks then? Because it's probably going to be bigger than me.
If my benefactor has taught me anything about the Wilderwold, it's that this place is, to people not native, basically live in hell.
Sikia is gonna pull out a somewhat rectangular small implement that has a
What's that?
flashy bright surface to it and tap on it. It is basically a cell phone.
Okay.
Where
And
you're bringing out a small table.
She's basically texting to Deuce, "Hey, you might want to start up a bath for later."
Might want to start with the tomato bath. All right. So yeah, you do this. You all begin to start wandering through this northern forest, and it's not quite the Wilderwood. The trees here don't go up to titanic heights, but they are pretty large. You know, maxing out maybe at 100 feet, 150 feet. These aren't quite sequoias, but they're quite large still, nonetheless. They're not quite as dense either, right? The sun filters down through the canopy, and you see an abundance of creatures. There are all sorts of different birds fluttering to and fro, blue jays and chickadees and cardinals and all sorts of critters. You see squirrels running around up in the branches. There are bushes covered with wild fruits and things. This might be part of the reason the kobolds are living here, actually, just the abundance of food that just is here. But yeah, as you kind of make your way in, it's just forest as far as you can tell.
As we're walking, I'm shooting birds.
Oh, jeez. With what?
Eldritch Blast.
All right.
I collect their mangled corpses.
Oh my God. All right. So how much damage does your Eldritch Blast do?
A minimum of 4.
Okay, so birds have 1 hit point. So you're exploding these birds. There are like feathers and some mangled bird meat remaining. But the bird meat's pretty scattered.
Wait, what kind of birds are they? Are they like
It sounds like they're just songbirds, and Hershel is just blasting them out of the sky.
Oh,
The
so
feathers will do.
there's no like birds that you could eat?
I mean, you could eat these birds with some dedication. Do you want to like look around for birds you could eat?
If I'm gonna get a bird that I can eat, I want to shoot it myself with my bow and arrow.
Okay,
Sure. Will you be eating all of that?
You can. I'm mostly trying to get the feathers. I always am looking for new things to incorporate in our candies for the lizard folk, for one thing. So if you want the meat, it's a bit mangled, but you are free to take it.
It is appreciated.
Yeah, Sakai is gonna shoot down one bird, take it, and start stripping it of feathers.
Could I have those feathers?
Oh.
Yeah,
sure.
I was gonna say, can you roll me a perception check?
For who?
I'm sorry, for you, Sikia.
4.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, there aren't any like big birds that you're really noticing. And actually, Hershel, you're just shooting the songbirds, right? You don't even care.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't
Preferably one with colorful feathers.
Yeah, there aren't any big birds, but you do see like a quail chilling out on a branch. Like that's edible, probably.
Definitely.
Go ahead and make me a shoot check for this poor bird.
Yes, I'm going to shoot the bird.
This was not a direct shot. Yeah, you shoot the bird. It's very
I'm
dead.
I do not need to roll damage because I don't want to overkill it, but I will take this
No,
bird.
I mean this bird is super dead.
All right. Well, I'm going to pluck its feathers, and I'm going to keep its pristine meat in like
I don't know
small...
that.
So I am keeping its meat in a small bag that is like tinfoiled and with ice.
What do you have ice? Wait a minute. Where does the ice come from?
In the tinfoil bag.
Most people regularly carry around with them a pack of ice.
All right, whatever. I'm not gonna fight this. Sure, you have some cold quail and a whole bunch of feathers. Hershel, you have a whole bunch of colorful feathers. Waiyubi, you have a whole bunch of delicious bird meat.
And crunchy bones.
As Waiyubi takes the mangled bird corpses handed to him by Hershel, in his hands they almost seem to just rot and decompose into like a thick, viscous.
Oh.
That's
not something I ever want to see again.
Do you slurp up the slime, Waiyubi?
I have been concerned.
Perhaps you and I should meet in the future, Mr. Waiyubi, to discuss how exactly you just did that and what applications it could have in certain products.
Sikia is gonna give Hershel her feathers.
So you've got a whole bunch of feathers now. Walnut, what are you doing as your party? Your companions, without discussing amongst each other, just start shooting birds.
The rest of them are focused on the sky. I'm focused on the ground. I'm gonna look for as many bugs as I can to use as ammunition.
You find tons of bugs.
I'm just gonna
actually roll me a d20. This is a really important d20. On a 1, you find murder hornets.
Roll d20. 14.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. You don't find any murder hornets. Instead, you just find lots of random bugs. I mean, it's a forest. There are tons of bugs. How many bugs do you want?
As many as I can fit into my ammunition pouch, so I have enough for my slingshot.
So you have a small pouch stuffed with little like roly-poly bugs, and like I don't know, maybe you have some earthworms in there too, just cause. And yeah, maybe you find one large like dung beetle.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have collected all sorts of various wildlife from the forest.
And viscera.
Well, the viscera's gone.
Most of it.
Well, I'm sorry, the viscera is different now. So as you collect all these things, are you guys discussing any plans, or where are you headed? Right now, you're just kind of strolling through the forest, shooting stuff.
Well, skunks are omnivorous, so I suppose we should get some bait, and we can use just about anything. Perhaps some mangled bird corpses,
or some cockroaches.
We could always go to. Yeah, we can set up traps at a watering hole nearby.
Oh, that'd be a good idea. Should I try sniffing it out?
That would be helpful.
If you can do that, yeah.
Jeremy, just a quick question. Would this count as a forest? Like for a natural explorer?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
100%. That's exactly where it is.
So that means I get double my proficiency bonus for this. Could I roll a survival to find skunks or a watering hole or something of that sort?
Yeah, so what are you trying to look for the survival check? Are you looking for tracks to see like what creatures have been around this area, or are you trying to find like a watering hole kind of vibe?
The watering hole kind of vibe.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll me that survival check and I'll tell you what you find.
All right. So, oh boy.
Oh man.
25.
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking around and you find a small creek, right? And in forests like this, the creek and the running watering river, it's not incredibly obvious. It's not like in a like on an open plain or something where you come across a river and it's an obvious river, right? A little creek can disappear between the brush and undergrowth. And I think what happens is you come across a creek and you follow it along for a short ways, and you find kind of nestled in some underbrush where it kind of splits off in a sort of unexpected manner, and it kind of flows into a small little pond-like area. It's not really a pond. The water's still flowing there, but it's a little deeper. It's maybe 2 feet deep instead of the 8 to 12 inches that the creek had been, and the water is very slow. It's like the optimal place for my brain for an animal to come by, right, and get something to drink and then take off, or even sleep. Looking around, there are all sorts of tracks. Some you absolutely recognize as skunk tracks. But you also see some larger clawed tracks that don't. It could be bears. It kind of, you're not sure. And you see other, like, also all sorts of creatures, right? Deer and everything. I swear there's even some fish swimming around in this little area.
Sikia is going to take a stop fast, and she's going to adorn a small hood, which seems to somewhat morph into her, like, her head.
Okay.
And it's got a pair of cat ears, so.
Okay. Is this...
With the power of the cat hood and gloves, I can now hear better.
Oh, of course! Your magical item, the cat hoodie and gloves. I love it. Okay, so do you want to use this for anything in particular right now, or just for later?
I'm going to have it on for right now and for later, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a deep listen to the wildlife and see if anything is remotely out of place.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception, I guess.
Nice. At advantage.
Yep.
Wow, okay!
This whole place gives you the heebie-jeebies. Something's off.
Holy sh... Well, I've never seen that before.
Yep, the classic double critical failure. Unfortunately, Sikia, you don't gain anything particularly useful, I think, out of this. Where you hear some sounds skittering around, and it kind of like gets your attention, and it's just like some moles in the underbrush that are confused and lost.
It's also a little jarring to have your sound switch from normal, like humanoid-esque ears. Suddenly, you are a cat.
Precise, exactly. It's just all so loud now. So yeah, what do you all want to do? You found this little watering hole. You know that skunks come through here.
Waiyubi will enter the watering hole and lie and wait for something to come through.
So Waiyubi, you're just gonna submerge yourself in the water, and it's about 2 feet deep. So you're just prone, just like a crocodile looking up out of the water a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to attempt to sniff out a skunk.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
That is a 15.
So, what do you have the advantage from?
That would be my armor infiltrator.
Of course, the incredible armor you have. Yeah, you're sniffing, and I think, there's lots of wild smells here from creatures, but there's nothing that you would smell and be like, oh, that's a skunk. You know what I mean? Lots of wildlife comes through here, and there's signs and smells of that, but it doesn't seem like there have been any, like, massive skunk sprays here. You know what I mean? At least recently. But you found tracks. Like, you see them. They're leading off into the forest and the underbrush. And actually, you know what I'll say? One of these sets of tracks, these little skunk tracks, leads to a small, like, burrow that goes under a big oak tree. Maybe 15 feet off into the forest.
It's just a hole downward into the ground? Or...
Yeah, it's just a little burrow down under a tree.
can I poke my head into the hole and see if I can get a glance at anything?
Yeah, at a glance, you don't see anything. It goes down more than just a glance.
Is it wide enough for me to fit in?
Your size is small. Yeah, you could squeeze through.
Okay, I'm going to try to do that.
Okay. Are you getting any of your companions to come around with you? Because Hershel's would have found this. I assume Hershel, you tell everyone.
Yeah.
Hold your horses there, buddy. Sakai's gonna pull out a rope.
Okay.
Here's an idea. If anything horrible happens, you tug the rope and we'll pull you out.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll just tie the rope around my waist, I guess.
Okay, you want to squeeze? Just crawl through this.
I'll just shimmy through the burrow in the ground.
Okay. Waiyubi, are you still in the water?
Yes.
Okay. And Hershel, you're with Sikia standing over the skunk hole just watching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You start to crawl through this skunk hole. And I think, it's not super deep, right? You crawl for a few feet and your eyes kind of become acclimated. And as you kind of get down to the bottom, I think you see a light, Walnut. And it's not like an actual physical light. It's the reflection of eyes as two small skunky eyes look out at you from inside, and it kind of hisses at you and bears these little skunk teeth.
Oh, hello, little friends. I'm just gonna call out to the skunk.
Okay, yeah, you look forward, and it appears as that skunk kind of like growls and gurgles at you. You hear some more skittering movement around you, and a couple of other skunks that were like in little branching paths here also kind of start to become visible to you. And again, you're squeezed in this tiny little hole, just face first, as there are 3 skunks down here looking at you.
Okay, it's probably too tight of a space, so I'm gonna shimmy my way back out.
Okay, as you do, the skunks go to attack you. I'd like you to roll for initiative.
Okay.
10 for all of us.
Just 10
42.
for now.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so you have a 22. What would you like to do? You are squeezed down in this little skunk hole.
I will use my movement and my action to... Oh, actually, hold on. Would this be considered like difficult terrain or something to like move through or what?
Yeah, you're squeezing. So everything is done at half movement. I'm sorry, you're squeezing and you're crawling.
So is that like quarter movement or what?
Yeah, it's really bad. I think you can crawl 5 feet normally, but squeezing halves your movement, so you can crawl 2.5 feet as a movement using your movement.
Okay, so I get... How deep is this burrow again?
It's like you're about 5 or 6 feet down.
Okay, so if it's quarter movement, I think I could get out with just my movement.
Yeah, you could get yourself up to the top.
Yep. Okay, I'll shimmy my way out with my movement.
All right, they will each take an attack of opportunity against you.
Yeah, I'll let them have it.
Claw, and claw. It's gonna be a 12, a 9, and a 19 to hit.
Wait, what's the advantage for?
Because you are squeezing, they have advantage on
Oh
their
yeah, that is
attacks
that's fair. So the 19 will hit, the rest do not.
All right, you'll take 1 point of piercing damage as it claws you in the face.
Perfect. All right. For my action, can I still see any of them from up here now?
If you double moved, that would be your movement and your action, right?
Oh, I thought it was just my movement to get out.
Nope, they would take movement and your action to move second time.
Sure. Then yeah, we'll just do that. And then for bonus action, I'll cast Hunter's Mark on one of them.
Okay, so I think Sikia, you and Hershel see the skunk like slash your friend in the face. What would you like to do, Sikia or Hershel? Anything?
What?
Anything I do to these things would kill them instantly.
Yes, so how about we conk them over the head?
Well,
You
we
know,
need-
just kind of knock them out.
I suppose that could work.
Are
I
either of you
thought-
taking any actions this turn?
I'll throw a rock at one.
Well, you can't see them. They're still in the hole. You only saw like their claw for a moment.
Oh,
You know what? Can I grab the one with its claw? Like
You'd
by
have
the
to
claw?
climb down into the hole to try and grapple it.
Damn. All right.
It's like you saw them in the hole slashing at your friend as he's backed out. Oh, I'm sorry, as they backed out.
There's really not much we can do here.
I will smack the tree above them with my axe.
Okay. And what's
So
your intent here?
I'm hoping that the vibrations on the tree will scare them out of the hole.
Roll me an attack roll. Yeah, I think attack roll works.
You know why? I roll you two.
Okay, so you slam the tree a couple of times. I'm gonna roll for these squirrels here. I'm sorry, the skunks. All right. As you do that, two of the skunks scamper on up and out. The third one does not scamper out, but will instead shoot its stench spray up out of the hole toward the three of you. I would like Walnut and Sikia and Hershel to roll me a dexterity saving throw. The DC is 10.
Oh, that's a
All right. Walnut, I am sorry. You are at... I think you might be at disadvantage because you're prone right now. Actually,
Oh,
does
yeah,
prone do
'cause I-
anything?
Prone does
I
not
don't
give you
think so.
disadvantage in dex saves.
Thank you, Lance. All right, so you're fine. All of you managed to back out of the way enough to evade the skunk spray. As now there are two skunks just running around. They start running off into the forest.
Does one of them run?
They both
near-
run straight toward the water.
Excellent.
Waiyubi, what would you like to do as two skunks bolt toward the water?
I burst out of the water and will launch a large glob of mucus.
Oh God!
And
Yes.
it is restrained.
Your glob of mucus completely coats one of the skunks, and it begins to flail about. Oh God! What do you do? What about the other one?
I run up to it.
Okay. She's emerged from the water. You hit one of them, and you run up to the second. All right. Oh boy. All right. We're at the top of the quote-unquote initiative. Walnut, what would you like to do? One skunk is covered in mucus currently.
So there's two by the watering hole and one inside still, right?
Yes, there's one still inside.
I'm gonna not bother with the one that's inside. I'm gonna go over to the watering hole, and I'll just two-weapon fighting. I'll take out my fork and my knife and just start punching.
Cool. Okay. And what's your plan for the skunk?
The one I hunters marked is the one that's out, right?
Let's find out. Yes, it is.
Okay, so the one that's hunters marked, I will stab at first.
Okay. You'll hit him.
Yep.
Why do
Hunters
Oh
marked.
boy. Oh God.
So 10 damage.
You murder the skunk.
Perfect. I'll
He's dead now.
I'll transfer my what's it called? My hunter's mark to the other one.
He's alive!
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try with my other action. My bonus action I will bonk him non-lethally with my knife.
You have advantage.
Yeah. Would you have been trying? I'll say, if you were trying to non-lethally attack the other skunk, you could do that if you'd like.
Okay, yeah. I'm not trying to stab any of them. Like, I'll just bonk them with the blunt end.
Okay. Yeah, you'll hit the other skunk.
All right.
And actually, you have
perfect.
advantage against the other skunk.
Oh yeah, I do. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that skunk is still conscious. Actually, it might not be. Let me check. How many health do you have, skunk? Yeah, he's still conscious. The one that's tied up in the goo. All right.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh.
So 3.
He's still up. Still alive. All right. We're on to you.
That's my turn. I don't know what else I can do.
Sikia and Hershel, we have one unconscious skunk, one injured skunk covered in goo.
Is the skunk in the hole just like, is the hole like a linear passageway, or does it wind?
It curves slightly, but you can see the rear end of the skunk that's down there because it just sprayed at you.
Okay. I also have dark vision too, so I'm going to mage hand and grab it.
Is your mage hand more powerful than the skunk? I'd like you to roll me. The mage hand can do 10 pounds of force, right?
Yeah, how much does a skunk weigh?
Yeah, what I'm gonna just call that is... Because the skunk's fighting it, right? I'm gonna just have the skunk roll a check to see if he can stay on, if he can not be grabbed by the mage hand. That's gonna be, what is it normally? You can carry 5 times your strength.
Yes.
So skunk's maximum capacity is 20 pounds. I don't even know.
Wait.
I'm just gonna roll me magic check. Roll me a magic check, and we're gonna roll a contested grapple, which I guess for you is your charisma.
Yeah. You want a charisma check?
Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, the skunk barely is able to evade your mage hand. Just hisses angrily at you.
All right, then that will be me waiting my next turn to try this again.
Oh, you're just gonna go until you got him. Okay, Hershel, what would you like to do?
You see the burning face of determination on this elf's eyes. They burn.
I will bonk out the other skunk.
Okay, you have advantage because he's stuck in the goo. You swing your battle axe and clock him. He has 2. You can't do less than his thing, so you conk him out.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. You have 2 unconscious skunks, one of which is covered in mucus. Oh God. All right. What skunk is it now? No, it's none of the skunks, right?
It's the one in the hole.
Yeah, it's the one in the hole. The one in the hole is gonna retreat. He's gonna retreat way into the back and stuff himself in a hole in the corner. He is no longer within sight. Can't see him. He stuck himself way in there. All right. Waiyubi, what would you like to do?
I will leave the incapacitated skunk, and with little other option, begin to attempt digging out this hole.
Okay, you're gonna walk over and do you have like a shovel or something, or how are you digging out this hole?
Like a dog, just using my spiked and clubbed hand to move as much dirt as I can.
All right, roll me an athletics check. Okay, you start digging, and to your chagrin, it's not going well, but I think that digging is enough to startle the skunk into being like, oh crap, I'm being dug out like a bear, I gotta try and book it. And he tries to run past you. He's just gonna dash. He's gonna dash past you, Waiyubi.
Is this 2 attacks of opportunity?
I think it is from each of you, yeah, if you'd like.
All right, I'm going to paw at it like a cat. Because suddenly I have cat claws too.
Cat powers.
I will attempt to non-lethally knock it with one of my spine.
Okay. And go ahead and give me the damage on the cat claws. Oh my god. All right, well, Waiyubi, unfortunately, you're too busy digging the stuff out that you miss with the spike. However, the cat claws, absolutely adept at beating a creature to within an inch of its life, perfectly knock the skunk unconscious.
It's like a little cat pounce.
And yeah, with that, these 3 skunks are now unconscious. You have 3 unconscious skunks, and no one smells bad. What would you like to do?
Is the one skunk still covered in mucus?
Yeah. Waiyubi, does that ever go away, or does he just stay covered in mucus?
It is a simple measure to get rid of. I will use one of my smaller spines to cut away at the mucus, which seems to have almost hardened into a rubbery substance.
Cool.
As I break the net.
Yep, absolutely. What would you like to do with your 3 skunks?
We should put them in a bag with a singular hole cut in it. Actually, 2 holes, that way they can breathe.
That sounds like another kobold weapon.
Sack full of skunks? Yeah, really.
I mean, I really like kobolds. I've interacted with them for a while. I mean, it's not all bad.
I did not mean that. Disrespectful. Weaponized skunk spray would be efficient.
I have heard that kobold means idiot in comic.
No, I think that's more pigeon. But either way, you roll it. And we are going to make a bag of skunks.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say one of you has a burlap sack for some weird reason, and yeah, you stuff it full of skunks.
Oh,
Sure.
Hershel carries around a number of sacks.
Oh, is it not a burlap sack you're using?
I mean, it probably is, but
Oh, all right.
it is. I carry around a number of sacks.
For collecting different ingredients for your candy.
Sure.
Oh God. All right. So yeah, you guys, you have 3 skunks. What would you like to do to get the rest of the 9 skunks that you need?
Are there any more tracks that lead from the watering hole, or is it just these?
I think those are like the freshest ones, right? There's definitely signs of like skunks visiting this watering hole frequently. And I think because you got a 25 on your nature check earlier, I'll also give you that like there's probably some kind of rare flower that grows in this kind of somewhat more stagnant water that maybe skunks really like to eat. And that's probably why they come here.
Are there any of those flowers on the water?
Yeah, that's why the skunks frequent this watering hole, you guess.
Okay. I guess we'll take some of them.
Okay. What would you like to do with them?
I will hold one in one hand and then just like try to sniff out the other tracks that lead away from there. Try to use it as like the flower as bait.
Okay, so I'm a little confused.
Well, like I took the flower and I want to use it as bait and like follow the other tracks, the not quite as fresh ones.
Okay. Yeah, I think looking at it, you're seeing it, and it's just like these are older tracks. These other ones that you've seen, right? Like, I mean, I guess if you want, you can start searching for them through the woods. Do you guys all want to go looking?
Certainly.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a, I guess just another survival check to search them through. And I guess if Hershel's coming with you, you'll get advantage on it.
Oh, okay. Advantage.
Mm-hmm.
not too.
14. Yeah, I think they just kind of get lost amidst all the other tracks from things that come through here, right? They clearly frequently come here, but where they go, it's kind of a toss-up. These ones were so close to the water that it was easy to follow, but as tracks get too far away from it, it's just underbrush here. There's not really tracks beyond.
Oh, well, I have no more ideas then. Does anybody else know what we could do?
I am unsure.
Well, I mean, one thing that you guys could do, and I think, I don't know if anyone's actually rolled about this yet. Does anyone want to roll to see what they know about skunks?
I believe I did that and did not know a lot.
Okay. So Hershel does not know very much about skunks.
Could I try and roll?
Yeah, you could roll me a nature check. Waiyubi, if you want to contribute to that kind of planning, you could also roll me one if you'd like. Man, none of you know very much about skunks. I don't know what's going on here. I think Sikia.
It's time for Sikia to attempt to know things about skunks.
I'll be honest, I was going to even give this information to you, Hershel, on a 6, because I think you'd realize it. But I'm interested to know what Sikia. Okay, so Sikia, for some reason, everyone knows this except for maybe Waiyubi, because he's from the water and was magically brought into this world at some point, and maybe doesn't know much about skunks. You all realize skunks are nocturnal creatures. You probably want to wait till nightfall, and then you could probably more easily capture some skunks.
Makes sense to me.
That's your guess.
I operate better at night anyway.
Would that not mean we could find them sleeping in that burrow like the other three?
Sikia has a startling epiphany. Are there owl bears in the Will-O-Wood?
Oh, certainly.
Aren't owls nocturnal? And therefore that would extend to owl bears?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh no.
I don't know what you're worried about.
Let's not worry about it. Let's just... Yeah, night is a good idea.
Okay.
Let us make camp.
All right, so you guys make a little bit of a camp. I guess you could take a short rest or something. Is there anything in particular y'all would like to do as you kind of await nightfall, anticipating these skunks?
Anyone good at setting up traps?
Yeah, we could set up traps. Could I also spend a hit dice to just heal up?
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like me trying to help set up traps is a terrible idea, so I'm going to sit and keep watch, basically.
Sure. So you're just keeping your eye out for when something's coming up, you'll be aware of it. Okay.
I think we all have dark vision, but light is easier to operate in for setting up traps and whatnot, so as it gets darker, Waiyubi will pull the cord on his lamp.
Ah, yes, from your lampshade helm. I forgot you had that. It's this lampshade you wear on your head.
And a small main moth comes up and keeps bouncing into my head.
Beautiful.
This is just where I learned that Lance has so many items that he can just have a ton of things on literally any character he wants.
Also, that's so much light. 60 feet of bright light and additional 60 feet of dim? And it's a +1 armor. This is such a good item.
It is.
Sorry. So you have all this light. And it sounds to me like, Sikia, you want to be on alert for when things come, so you guys can get the drop on them. Hershel, you wanted to set up a trap?
I was asking if anyone was good at it.
Oh, okay. You would prefer not to be the one who sets up traps.
Correct.
I am horrible at traps because I have no good survival stat.
I have a good survival stat. I can help with that.
And I think actually.
Give him the help engine.
Okay. And I think actually, as a ranger, you already have a trap. You have a hunter's trap.
Do I?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
every ranger starts with a random hunter's trap. What
Really?
is your hunter's
Okay.
trap? Yeah, it does actually.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
I don't have it listed in here. Well.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is that the back? Maybe is that the Outlander background?
Yeah. No. I'm pretty sure that's the background.
Okay, sorry guys. I think all rangers are Outlanders. Maybe I'm just a fool. All right, so you don't have a hunter's trap. I lied.
Yeah.
But Waiyubi, you're helping to set up this trap.
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to do for the trap? What do you want to make it? Are you like digging a big hole and covering stuff over? Is it like that kind of a trap? Is it a bent over stick with a lasso at the bottom that's gonna catch around their legs and pull them up? What kind of trap are you going for? Walnut?
Oh. Sorry. We could probably like. Well, you could take some of the flowers and like hide it, and then have like dig a hole underneath it so that they fall into it if they try to eat it.
Okay, so you want to try to make a pitfall trap. How big of a pitfall trap are you going? Is this like a 1 skunk pitfall, or is this like a 6 or 7 skunk pitfall trap?
We're gonna try and make it as deep as possible.
Jeez. Okay. So Waiyubi and Walnut, I'm gonna need from you two a series of checks. And Hershel, are you also helping with this or no?
Sure.
You have something else? Okay. I was just wondering if you had something else you wanted to be doing.
No.
Okay, so none of you are proficient with thieves' tools, right?
Correct.
Okay. In that case,
Why would good Sikia have proficiency in thieves' tools? That doesn't seem very nice.
I know, right? All right, so I'd like, I think, a series of 3 checks to improvise this trap. I would like probably an athletics check or something, just to represent like how deep and wide you can make this trap in your very relatively short amount of time you have. So I'd like that one. And I think the biggest struggle with digging it deep is because of the almost swampy kind of wet nature of this area. So if you have something like an effect that would maybe interact with that aspect of it, maybe you could argue for advantage or something. I'd also like someone to actually set the actual trap part, which I think is a sleight of hand check, right? It's putting the branches and things over the top of the hole, covering it, and not just destroying it while you're doing that. It's got to be weak enough that skunks can fall through it. So that's a sleight of hand check, and I guess if you've got something you could argue with me as to, or argue as to why that would help you, that would be great. And then I'd like one person to make an animal handling check, and that's just to like put it in a spot where like the placement of it in general, right? And the placement of the bait and all of that. So who would like to roll what?
I'll
could
take
do
the
handling.
Waiyubi, what you spoke first?
I'll take the athletics, and might I argue water vehicle for stopping up leaks of the water coming through and making.
Yeah, I think that works. You're gonna like plaster the sides with your mucus or something to keep it from leaking. Okay, yeah, all right. Because it becomes like rubber, as we've learned. So go ahead and roll my athletics with advantage. And I'm gonna remember what you roll. That's gonna be relevant later on.
11, coming in hot.
All good. Hershel and Walnut, what would you two like to do for that?
I missed most of what you said because my internet cut out.
someone's going to need to roll a sleight of hand check to set the like top part of the trap in such a light finesse way that it won't just break in while you're trying to set the trap, and it'll still be weak enough that skunks can fall through. And someone needs to set the placement of the bait and the appeal as to draw the animals in with an animal handling like check.
I could probably do the animal handling because I've got proficiency and it gets doubled because we're in the forest.
Okay.
And my sleight of hand is better than my animal handling anyway, so I'll do sleight of hand.
Sounds good. And if you have any abilities or items or anything you'd like to argue, like Waiyubi argued his proficiency with water vehicles for plugging holes in ships and keeping water out as a way to get advantage on the digging of the hole in the swampy area. Do you have anything to argue, or are you just going to give me a straight roll?
Give me a straight roll.
Okay.
Could I argue with Natural Explorer?
I think that's already doing its own thing is the problem. It's already giving you the double
that's
proficiency.
Fair. That's fair. So let me just check.
Oh, 16.
Okay.
18.
Okay. Excellent. So you got an 18 for your bait, a 15 for your sleight of hand, and an 11 for the actual trap. Or, well, trap depth. Okay, so you're digging out this stuff, setting all this trap, getting going, and Sikia, you're keeping on watch. I'd like you to roll me a perception check. I'm going to give you advantage because you're, 12 12s. You're keeping on watch, you're keeping an eye out for things to show up and come by, and it's starting to get kind of dark, and I think, Sikia, you hear the rustling of underbrush in the distance, of creatures beginning to make their way toward this watering hole area. What do you alert your friends? You've mostly completed your trap by this point.
The way I'm gonna alert my friends is with a mage hand giving a thumbs up, which is basically to say, hey, things are out now. We should probably vacate to a safer distance where things won't be like, there's people standing near that little area, let's not. All
right. So Sikia silently alerts you all with their mage hand. Where do you all want to go? Wait, are you just ducking back in? Oh, sorry. Go on.
Okay. I'll run up a tree.
Okay. You're going to scamper up a tree and hide in the branches?
Yep.
Okay. Hershel?
I'm just gonna, you know what? I'll just hide in some bushes or something.
Okay. Waiyubi?
Waiyubi goes back in the little...
Back in the water. Oh, God.
Do you want stealth checks?
Yeah, I will. I'll ask that in a second. And because I'm just trying to get an idea of where everyone is, and then I'll ask for the checks. And Sikia, where would you like to be? You can already have been somewhere because this is what you've been doing the whole time.
Could I have paused? Are the branches low enough for me to set up in a tree?
Yeah, I think so. What kind of a setup are you talking about?
Like just a large enough branch for me to basically...
Just a comfortable spot?
Yeah, to perch on. I'll be able to look down over everything.
Can you roll me a stealth check with advantage, Sikia? Can everyone else just give me a regular old stealth check?
Oh, mine's at advantage.
Or, I guess not. All right.
Mine did not roll.
All right, so they're only 15 and 20. Oh, man. All right, so you guys nail this stealth check. You are like the night, hidden away, and as the darkness has fallen, you see one by one as a group of skunks begin to make their way out into this little area, this little watering hole. You see one skunk kind of head out, and they're passing right by you, Hershel, like within 5 feet of the bush that you're hidden in, but they haven't seemed to notice you. They come up between the branches, and it's a little skunk just paddling along. They're a little different looking than the skunk that, like, the skunks you found earlier. These ones are it's hard to really say what exactly the differences are, but they have a kind of like hunched back to them a little bit more. Maybe they're a different species. But yeah, the first skunk waddles out and goes over to the watering hole and starts to blip at some water, and Waiyubi is right in front of you. But then another skunk kind of makes its way out, and then another one, and then another one. And do you guys just watch until the trap triggers, or would any of you act before the trap triggered?
I think we want to
Waiyubi
wait.
waits until someone else springs the trap.
Okay. And you watch as slowly but surely a whole heap of skunks make their way out. Maybe 15 skunks. And they're all like together. And they all make their way over to the water, and they start drinking up. And one of the skunks, probably a smaller one, notices at first the bait and begins to waddle over, and you hold your breath as it walks over the pitfall, and the pitfall doesn't fall. It's not supposed to, not until there's quite a few skunks. And it starts munching on the flowers, and then some more skunks follow it. And of those, let's see, about 10 or a dozen skunks that are there, or 15 skunks that are there, I'm going to see how many do not actually make it. Okay. Okay. So after the 12th skunk clambers onto the pitfall trap, it collapses down. The skunks suddenly are all scattered and freaking out. Do any of you act?
Are there any near me?
I mean, there are 3 skunks that are not in the pit. There are a dozen in the pit, and it looks like the pit is not deep enough, and they're going to start to climb out.
I will leap off the tree.
All right. So Walnut, we're going to just have you go first in the initiative as you're acting here. You leap down. What would you like to do? There are 3 skunks that are still just wilding around, and a dozen in this pit squirming over each other.
I'm gonna hop down near the pit, and I'm gonna take off my cloak and just try to hold it down over the over the pit to make sure none of them get out.
Oh, okay, cool.
I
Easily
was gonna
done.
ask.
Yep.
I was gonna ask, but looking at it now, it's willing creatures. But I was gonna ask if it was possible to catnap a few of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just willing creatures. Well, Sakai, would you like to act? You're up in the branch. Walnut has just leapt down from the branch near you and has thrown their cloak over the skunks in the pit and is just trying to hold them down. What's your move?
My next move would probably have been to just like pull the tips off of arrows and hit skunks with blunt arrow, like just the arrow shafts, basically.
You do not non-lethal a creature with an arrow. You got to do it with melee attack, unfortunately.
Figured.
I mean,
okay.
unless your goal is to just kill the skunks, which you could. You have more than enough here, technically.
I feel like that now that I think about it, I feel like the craziness that's going on is going to alert bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
So, how loud is this entire area right now, even for me, but like for everyone else?
I think from your perspective, you can roll me a perception check if you'd like, because you're a little up higher.
With
Yeah,
a
it's
6.
super
Wait.
dark.
This is sound-based, is what I'm asking.
Sure.
How loud it would be.
Okay,
So-
go ahead and roll with advantage then, for your cat ears.
6
Yeah.
still.
It's tough. It's super dark. There's a cacophony of skunks below you.
I would love to help, but I don't have anything that wouldn't just give away my position.
Okay, so you're staying up there for now.
Yes, however, I'm going to knock an arrow into my longbow as a prepped action should anything attack anyone below me.
Cool. Waiyubi? Or Hershel, whoever.
I start smacking skunks over the head.
Alright, you
knocking them out.
charge out and you start. Are you going for the ones in the pit or the ones that are just kind of out and about?
There's a dozen in the pit.
A dozen in the pit, and 3 of them are out and about, and they look like they're about to flee.
But we just need a dozen, and we already have 3.
Mm-hmm.
I start smacking ones in the pit.
Okay. You're gonna have advantage on these attack rolls, as Walnut is holding them down, and they're in a pit. Oh wow, good thing too. Yeah, you swing, and immediately you notice there's something off as you swing this your battle axe the first time. You hit it, but there's like a cling sound as you hit it. Go ahead and roll me the 2 damage.
Oh, they're not cursed.
They're not cursed, but they are both unconscious. So now there is going to be 10 of the 12 skunks in the pit are unconscious. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's all I got. 10 out of the 12 are unconscious, you said?
I'm sorry, 2 out of the 12 are unconscious because you just clobbered them. Waiyubi, what would you like to do? You are currently hidden.
Bursting forth out of the pond, glowing his brilliant glow with his head, plate thing, looking like the eldritch monstrosity he is, Waiyubi will bonus action rage. And as he's running towards the pit, will mucus net the skunk that is out of the pit but closest to the pit.
Cool. Oh, unfortunately, even with the surprise and everything, that does not quite seem to connect.
And I'll just loom over the pit to whack more that try to come out.
Okay. All right. At the bottom of the initiative, the skunks in the pit are gonna squirm and try and get out. And let's see, they're gonna roll. They have to beat an 11, but they have disadvantage now because of Walnut. So, they should actually be strength. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so only one of them manages to squirm its way out. There are now only 11 in the pit, and there are 4 just out and about. Actually, there's only 1 out and about because the 3 that were out and about scamper off into the woods, squealing or like hissing.
Do we get opportunity attacks as this one comes out of the pit?
Yeah.
Right. No, I think they're trying to kind of be defensive of you. They're a little bit more protective than the other skunks that were just sprinting for their lives, right? Because they're scampered all over stuff going on right now, and that one doesn't get away from you. He's just out of the pit now. And I think, much to what you expected, Sikia, you hear a deep hiss from out in the forest a little ways, and you hear some heavy footfalls as a very large creature begins to make its way toward the clearing. You can't see it super well from where you are, but you can see its basic outline. It appears to be a large creature. What would you like to do, Sikia? I'm sorry, do you have dark vision?
Yes, I'm a half-elf. I have dark vision.
Okay. It appears to just be a very, very large, dark mass. Perhaps a large bear. In the dim light, with the low perception and all the cover, you couldn't quite tell precisely what it is. But you do see it. No, it has, it's with all the overgrowth and everything in the area, you guys can't see it, but you all hear it. Barreling toward you. Would you like to take your shot, Sikia?
Here's what I'm gonna do with my shot. Instead of shooting the bear and alerting it, I'm going to shoot an arrow at the top
it seems
of the
to be
trap.
coming at you. Like it's
Oh,
coming.
it's at me.
It's coming
Oh,
not
shit.
to you, toward the commotion. It's just barreling right over.
Oh, so it's already alerted. So it, like
Yeah,
I
very
have
much
to.
so.
I'm. Shit. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
This is gonna be loud, but I'm going to chromatic orb at it.
Okay. Go ahead. All right, you cast a chromatic orb at it, and you will hit it, even with its cover and everything. Go ahead. What kind of damage do you do?
This is going to be the bright flashing blue of lightning.
Excellent. So as a flash of lightning blasts through the underbrush, it hits the creature. Go ahead and give me your damage. And I think in the flash of light, you see the creature approaching you is none other than a very, very large, dire skunk. And you hit the dire skunk for 11 points of damage. All right. We are back at. Sorry, Sikia, I assume you yell something about that, or do you not?
Oh yeah, I grabbed their attention and like, in not very nice words, like kind of a panicked, oh god, there's a huge creature over here. But yeah, I'm gonna tell them very like in a panic again, just there's something over yonder coming to you guys. It's not very happy.
All right. Hershel, what would you like to do? There are some unconscious skunks and some conscious skunks.
How close is this big thing?
It is just on the other side of the brush at this point. It barreled toward you all, but it didn't make it all that far. It's maybe 15 feet from where you stand, but you can't see it very clearly. You only see its looming form in the darkness.
Okay. So it's looming for. Well, okay. It's not dark.
Oh, because the lampshade helm. Yes, you
That's
see.
not why, but sure.
Oh, why isn't it darkness?
I have Devil's Sight.
Oh, shit. Well, you're still only seeing shades of gray, but it doesn't matter.
You
Because
see normally.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, it's a giant skunk. It's a huge giant skunk. It's got little bony protrusions jutting out from it in places. It is a dire skunk. And you realize with the patang you had heard earlier with your battle axe, these are probably baby dire skunks that you've captured.
Oh, that would make sense.
That's better for us anyway.
I will put I will take 2 strikes at the skunks in the thing, trying to knock some more out.
Okay. You'll hit with the first one, but unfortunately you miss with the second, as the dire skunk's armor class is slightly higher than the normal skunk. Go ahead and give me the damage on the first club. Yep. There are now 3 unconscious skunks in the hole.
6 more, and we should be good. I turn to face the dire skunk.
All right. Waiyubi, what would you like to do?
I would like to curse the dire skunk.
Oh, absolutely.
I will handle this if you can keep the skunks contained. Waiyubi charges the dire skunk.
Excellent. With the lampshade on your head, you charge the dire skunk. And it lets out a deep hiss.
This is size category large.
Size category large, yeah.
Excellent. I attempt to once again hurl mucus.
You will connect with it. The dire skunk becomes covered in this horrible, vile mucus that you hurl at it.
And is restrained. And I end my turn right upon.
Alrighty. Walnut, you're currently holding the skunks down. What would you like to do?
Can I beat some of them up?
Yes, I think you can.
Knock
Absolutely.
them unconscious. All right.
Please.
Action and bonus action.
Oh no! Unfortunately, as you're smacking down, like the hits that you did on the other skunks worked with like this, but these ones have weird bony protrusions in places that most dire creatures do, and unfortunately, you're not able to knock any of them unconscious. But you still have the cloak on over them to try and keep them still in the hole. There are 8 currently in there. Let's see how many get out, if any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, one of them is able to get out of the hole. So now there are only 10 in the hole. The one that was currently out of the hole bolts into the... Actually, will disengage and go to move behind the big dire skunk. Because he's going to go hide behind his mama. So now there are 10 in the hole, 1 right next to the hole, and 3 unconscious in the hole. Oh boy.
3 unconscious? I thought we had more from before.
You have 6 total unconscious, but there are 3 currently in the hole.
Okay.
And that was the regular skunks. And then the dire skunk is going to... It could attack you, Waiyubi, but it's going to use its once per day stench spray. It shakes its rump directly toward you, Waiyubi, Walnut, and Hershel. And I'm going to need each of you 3 to roll me a dexterity saving throw. It's dexterity save DC 12. As this horrible of stench goes over you all. All right, not bad, not bad.
I think it's a 9.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you have anything to have advantage on that?
Let me check my armor.
You never know with the armor.
I don't think so.
Okay. It does 9 poison damage and unfortunately poisons you. As you are covered with this horrible stink. This skunk stunk. Sikia, it is your move. Top of the initiative. With a dire skunk under you, battling Waiyubi.
You know what? 2 could play at that game. I'm gonna pull out the green dragon shard.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot another chromatic orb at the dire skunk.
Alrighty. Absolutely, because he's restrained.
At advantage. Oh,
Yeah, so you're channeling your chromatic orb through this shard of dragon scale.
yes.
Beautiful. Oh,
For
nice.
25. Does this also critically hit with the extra 1d6 poison damage from
It
using it?
does. You betcha. Oh boy. All right, 26 total damage. Oh no, even more, 31. All right, holy crap. This dire skunk is looking really bad after that critical hit. The chromatic orb, actually, what kind of damage was it? Just wondering. He's not
Poison.
resistant. Okay. The chromatic orb slams into him, and the dire skunk lets out a horrible deep hiss and squirms around, and its eyes are all red, and it's trying to escape. Like, it's no longer trying to protect its babies, it's trying to run away. All right, any other moves, Sikia, or are you going to stay up in the tree?
Unfortunately, I am not level 3, or else I would quicken spell this.
If only. All right, Hershel, it's your move. Your eyes hurt like hell.
I would imagine. I begin beating up babies.
Oh, God. All right. With advantage, because they are currently being held down.
Right, but with disadvantage because I'm poisoned.
Yeah. So it's a normal old roll. Not that it matters. You club another two babies.
8. 4 more.
Waiyubi, what would you like to do?
I will strafe around the dial and attempt to beat down on its bait.
Oh, the one hiding behind it?
Yes,
Oh, God. Go for it.
I will do so recklessly.
Okay.
just have to shift macros to strength.
Alrighty. You will absolutely spine it. Now, as a question, if you are restrained, can you take reactions? You can. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll me the damage on that spine, but you probably club that baby unconscious. All right, yeah, you club that baby unconscious. As a reaction, the dire skunk mother will make an attack against you because you attacked one of its babies while within its reach. It's going to make a bite/claw attack and miss. It only rolled a 6. Anyway. All right, Waiyubi, anything else?
That is.
All right. Walnut, you have 9 of the 12 necessary skunks.
Oh, only 2 more. Okay. I will try beat them up again.
Okay.
19 and 20.
Hey, redemption. All right. You have 8 unconscious skunks currently.
Sorry, what?
I'm sorry, you have 11 total unconscious skunks as
Yeah,
you club
so-
these 2.
So just one more.
Apart. Is there anything else that you'd like to do, Walnut?
I don't. Yeah, no, that's my action and my bonus, so I can't do anything.
Okay. The 4 remaining skunks in the hole are gonna, seeing like all their friends are unconscious, they're just all going to spray upwards. So Hershel and Walnut, I need you to roll me 4 dexterity saving throws against the skunk spray. Oh.
Is this? I mean, even if I save, does this do anything?
It does no damage if you
Or
succeed.
does it do
It would do 1
damage?
point of poison damage. Yes.
Ah, okay.
So Walnut, you take 2 points of poison damage and are covered in skunk stank.
Okay.
Hershel, you'll take 1 point of poison. Because
Okay.
DC's only 10 for them.
Well, I have
The
disadvantage.
DC is 10. Okay.
You have disadvantage?
Yeah, poison condition? Isn't that
Not
give
a saving
disadvantage?
throws.
Oh, alright.
Attack rolls and ability checks, not a save. Wow, that would be super good if there was saves too. Oof. No, so it's only 1 other point, as they are just freaking out, the 4 skunks in the hole. The dire skunk. What do they have to roll to get out of your net?
They have to burn an action, and it's only a DC 10 athletic.
Yeah.
No, strength, not athletic.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if they have multi-attack, it might be better for them to attack the net.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, I think this skunk has just gotten so thoroughly thrashed. It's not trying to, like, if it were fighting back at this point, I'd have it use one of his attacks, but it's not. It's just trying to flee. So
How far away is it?
it's underneath you. It's like 10 feet down on the ground. You're up in a tree.
There's nowhere it can go to run. It is in my range no matter what it does.
Well, it also doesn't get out, so the dire skunk is still stuck. All right. Good.
Shall
Wait,
we take this prize alive for the kobold? Asking a question to
I don't think they even would know what to do with the dire skunk.
I think they need to be able to raise the things into being domesticated. So giving this one would be a really bad idea.
It's your turn, Sakai. What would you like to do?
It's looking really bad, right?
Yeah.
So it already learned not to poison people like that. I'm going to give it a very quick death with a lightning bolt again from not like a lightning bolt, but a chromatic orb lightning.
Cool. Don't forget you have an advantage because of Waiyubi. Oh my god. Poor skunk.
That was almost another crit.
Almost. Yeah. Oh my
And
lord,
it
those
can-
wolves are on fire!
It can eat 18 points of lightning.
Yeah, with a blast of lightning, the dire skunk collapses, slain upon the battlefield.
I gain hit points.
It's like that it's
That's
like
relevant.
that cartoony thing where it's like you get hit with lightning and then everything,
All the bones.
all the bones like flash white through their skin, and everything else is just pitch black.
And with that, there are 4 remaining unconscious baby skunks. Although, what would you like to do? I mean, just knock them out?
Yeah, just bonk them.
Just bonk, bonk. You bonk the remaining baby skunks, and as the night kind of settles in this little clearing, the dire skunks have been dealt with. Well, I mean, you have a whole bunch of dire skunks, which I assume you shove into a bag.
What, we have 15, right?
15 total, yeah.
The order was for 12, so if no one else minds, I start taking a bag of 3 of them. And did you need a trophy from the big one? I say, looking at Sky.
Oh, no, you can take the whole thing. I want nothing to do with it.
Great. I start dragging it away.
Mm-hmm. And with that, the 4 of you have completed this adventure. You deliver the 12 dire skunks to the kobolds. Do you inform them that they're dire skunks, or do you just
No.
give them 12 skunks? Okay.
I would definitively inform them that they are dire skunks and that they should take this with care and very, very seriously domesticating them, or else they're going to have a huge problem.
Of
Dire
course.
skunks, huh?
I say this all in Draconic.
I understand.
I think we can do something much more interesting with these.
The entire rest of the party, unless they speak Draconic, just hear this conversation in Rur.
I do speak Draconic.
Well, but Hershel, you're busy dragging this giant carcass.
Oh no, I have people for that.
Oh my god. Well, either way, you are paid your 100 Bartholomew bucks. You gain your 1 point of experience, and the kobolds now have war skunks. Congratulations for completing this bizarre adventure.
It's gonna be a weird fable battle.
It's going to be a real weird fable boss battle. Would any of you and only 2 of you got stunked, really. I was surprised more of you didn't get stunked. Would anyone like to shop really quickly, or are we about good?
Yeah, I'd like to shop. Just a quick point of clarification. To use a charm, my armor needs to be glamored, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll use my 100 to glamour Walnut's armor.
All right, well, you make your way back to Bartholomew's shop, where you see the smiling face of Bartholomew.
Greetings, adventurers. Oh, what is that smell?
Skunk.
Big skunk.
Let's make this transaction quick, I suppose. Do any of you need anything?
Yeah, I'd like to glamour my armor.
That we can do. He snaps his fingers, and your armor gains a magical sheet, which you can talk to Jeremy about how to get exactly what you want in your glamour put up on the website. But just for now, what do you want your armor to look like? What is the appearance that you go with?
I want it to look like it's made of cheese, because I love it.
Your now gleaming yellow cheese armor
Perfect.
shines brightly. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to purchase at this time?
I think that will be a no.
Going once, going twice. And we'll be back with our 3rd and final adventure in just a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.